My name is Marcia, and my main role right now is I am in charge of making sure that our children's program called Godly Play is ready for our storytellers, ready for our children. So I schedule the stories, I schedule the storytellers and shepherds, and I make sure that we have the materials to carry it out. Children have always been important, and they are the future of our church. They're the future of our faith. If they visit our church on a Sunday morning, our children, all of them, unless they're like 2 years old and younger, all of them are in the sanctuary. They're all upstairs. And we feel like that they need to begin as early as possible understanding how their worship time goes so that they can sort of move into that place that they will have easily. So they're upstairs for about the first 15 minutes of the church worship. They end their time up there with a children's moment, and that's when they come down here. But while they're there, they hear scripture, they sing a song, they hear the prayer, they hear our church, one of the church liturgies, whatever the calendar year has it. So they get to learn how their parents are worshiping, and then they still get to come down here and hear the story at their own level. Godly Play was developed by Jerome Berryman, who was an Episcopalian priest. He was a teacher. He did other educational things, and he was influenced by Maria Montessori. And he used her Montessori plan and adapted it to a plan to help children have a different kind of way of going into a class to learn scripture and about Jesus and about their faith. Montessori, as well as Moravians, are very simplistic. Maria Montessori believed that the learning was up to the child. You were not to provide everything. If you look at the figures in most of the baskets or the trays, there are no details. They're just outlines, because that way you may see them as one color, one kind of person. I will see them as something else. It allowed the opportunity for the child to put their own ideas, backgrounds, interpretation of the story. The story is straight from the scripture, but it is not just straight out told. It leaves it in a broader frame where the child has to internalize, work through what they have learned, and ask questions. One of the biggest things too is, I'm sure you remember, when you finished hearing your story, the teacher said, "Now, who was the man we talked about? How many fish did they have?" Those are not our questions. In Godly Play, they're called wonder questions, and they're open-ended. How do you think Peter felt when Jesus asked him, "Do you love me?" How would you feel if someone asked you? Why would you feel that way? So they have to think about it and elaborate and dig into. And I will tell you that we have some 6- and 7-year-olds that have floored me with their ability to think. And I've had to say a couple of times, I'll have to find the answer to that.